Hello, good morning, everybody. Dear ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it is my pleasure to have you to see you here. And it's a great pleasure for Erdemir to host you here in Milan. Warm welcome. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Asofermet for their tireless efforts and for SteelOrbis as well for organizing this big event, this great event here and bringing us together. Because the main purpose of our being here is today to discuss the steel markets, to share our opinions, and then to make some predictions, make some assumptions for the future of flat steel industry. Yes, some of my colleagues are here, I think, smiling because it is very difficult. I also know it is very difficult to make some assumptions because having been moreover than in steel industry for moreover 20 years in steel industry, I can frankly say it is very difficult for me as well to make reliable assumptions for the steel industry. But let's try to understand the world. Let's try to understand the market. And please, let's try to dive in deep here. You know all, if we conclude a decision here, or if we decide on a discussion here, we all know that it will change in a few hours, it will change, it will lose its meaning in a few days. We all know it very well. Because the main problem is the world is changing. The world is changing rapidly. We all know, please remember, after the Cold War era till the pandemic time, we all experienced very strange days, where we called them VUCA days, where it was volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. While we were trying to adapt ourselves to new world, to VUCA world, we suddenly met with bunny world. Do you know what bunny means? Bunny means it's brittle, it's anxious, it's non-linear and incomprehensible world. In this bunny world, we need to adapt ourselves. Like for brittleness, we should keep our resilience. For anxiety, to handle our anxiety, we should put strong strategies in the market. We should set smart strategies in our life. And for non-comprehensible world, we have to be flexible according to sudden changes in our lives. Finally, we should be dynamic and agile according to the both incomprehensible and non-linear world as well. Yes, let's dive in deep. Let's take a look at my agenda of this session today. First of all, we will be starting with the introduction of Erdemir, and then we will talk about Turkish and global steel markets, industries, and then we will wrap up this session with the steel trade relationship between EU countries and Turkey. Of course, we will be talking about the protectionism and its measures as well here. Erdemir is the largest and only integrated flat steel producer in Turkey. We have 8 group companies with 12,000 employees in it. We having 9.65 million tons of annual capacity. We have completed the year 2023 with 7 million tons. It is lower than our annual capacity. We know that. It is because of due to sudden earthquake disaster, which was happened in 2023. However, we were ranked in the 52nd position in global world producers, and we were ranked in the 4th place in EU countries. Erdemir is, at the end of this year, going to complete nearly its 60-year journey in steel industry. We have many key milestones in our timeline, where one of the major timelines, major key steps was the acquisition of Erdemir and Erdemir Romania in 2002. And in 2006, after the privatization, following the privatization, Erdemir always tries to focus on further expansion and further growth in its all operations. We have two main plants which are producing both flat and long steel products. Which one is located in the north, the other is located in the south part of Turkey. They have their both own ports with 20 million tons of loading and unloading capacity. And both in our two plants, we are producing hot rolled, cold rolled, galvanized, tin plate, wire rod, and billet products as well. We also have another plant, another facility, which is the only and first iron ore pelleting facility in Turkey, which is called ERMADEN. It provides the domestic iron ore demand of 38%, and of course, we are supplying approximately 16% of iron ore from this company. We have another plant, which is located in Romania, Târgoviște area. It is just producing silicon steel, electrical steel, where it is non-grain oriented. Yes, let's talk about steel. What is steel? I think steel is not just a material. Having a metallurgical engineering background, I can say that clearly. Steel is not just a material. It is the backbone of our world. It is the most important infrastructure in our world, because we use steel everywhere. Think about from the cars we use to the houses or buildings we live in it every day, there is steel used. Therefore, we have to understand clearly this industry. Let's dive in deep. In all over the world's production is 1.8 billion tons of steel production, where China is the most steel producing country with approximately 1 billion tons of production. It is moreover than half of world's production. After China, India and Japan follows China. And in this picture, here in top 10 steel producing countries, Turkey is a global key important player in steel industry. We are producing 34 million tons of crude steel. It means that Turkish economy is growing. It means that we are producing. It means that we are consuming. It is very important for our economy. Therefore, we have to focus on such developments in steel industry. However, while everything was going well in the last decade, in recent years, while the production and consumption was going steadily growing up, we suddenly faced with some such problems, such crises in our lives. First of all, starting with pandemic, and then Ukraine conflict followed it. Then we had Suez Canal, Red Sea accident, and now today also, I think you all heard about the strikes near to the US ports. They have a big strike there, and it means that it will continue in our future business life. We will face new and new challenges as well. All of these challenges, all of these difficulties give us a lot of negative results. We need to cope with higher energy costs. We need to cope with higher transportation costs. These are very important in our business period. But in this picture, in this chaotic environment, there is only one country, you know, it is China, is always recovering itself, always rebounding, and they successfully, consistently managing how to navigate their difficulties in their lives. Please remember, such as the same as Paris Olympics and Paralympics as well. They maintained their achievement there as well, with 91 medals, 40 of them were in gold. You remember, I think they have a secret strategy where always bring them to success in their business life. Let's take a look at Turkey's position. In the first half of this year, we have also produced 19 million tons of crude steel production, and it means that we kept our resilience and we success to keep our position in the 8th position in top 10 steel producing countries. And different from other countries, our consumption is increasing. It means that we are producing. While our production is slightly going down, opposite to our production, our consumption is increasing, production of crude steel production. It means that our manufacturing industry and construction industry is going very well. And here you can see, it is very important point. It means that we will face new challenges in the future. We will face new supply problems, how to supply, where to supply our material, because the total consumption of material, flat steel in Turkey, is approximately 19 million tons. However, we produce only 13.7 million tons. The gap between our consumption and production is directly imported from the outside. Let's take a look at where we are importing. In the past, in recent years, we were in a good collaboration with our EU business partners. We were supplying material directly from EU countries. Let's take a look at statistical data here. It shows that, approximately we are coming 43%. It has been dropped to nearly 20%. We are now, today, bringing much more less than before. Our market is already totally dominated by Asian producers. It is very clear here. And let's take a look at from the opposite side. Of course, in the past, as Turkey, we were exporting material to EU countries, approximately 15.7%, but today it has been dropped down to 6.9%. Here, it is very clear to see it, our total, our direct trade volume is gradually shrinking. It means that there's a problem here. However, in spite of all these, we were having a customs union agreement in the past with our EU business partners. We are already working together with EU countries. You know, we are supplying a lot of such industrial goods, a lot of spare parts for OEMs and their tier 2, tier 1 companies. For example, in Mercedes, in Fiat, in such ever companies where you remember here, we supply directly small industrial goods there. But in spite of this collaboration, we have many problems, many obstacles, such as anti-dumping issues, such as quotas, such as safeguard problems. And here as well, you can follow our share. According to our statistical data, we were supplying in the past, but today it has been decreased down to 3%. And EU countries were supplying material to Turkey, but it has been decreased now today. Yes, my dear colleagues, exactly, I don't want to run you into numbers anymore. In conclusion, as we approach to the end of my presentation, end of this session here today, I would like to take your attention, I would like to draw your attention here that our collaboration is weakening. If we continue to rely on more and more cheaper price policies from Asian countries, it will undermine both our industries, both Europe industry and Turkey's industry. If we remain passive in the face of aggressive steel strategies anymore, we have to accept their negative consequences. We have to accept their risky results. Therefore, we need to have a collaboration, strong collaboration today more than ever. Therefore, and finally, we live in the same geography. Our economies are increasingly connected. Let's come together, let's review and reassess our all anti-dumping and safeguard issues here as well. Thank you for listening me. I would like to say thank you to my export team here for their all tireless efforts and for whole year working. Thank you very much. And thank you for your valuable participation here. Thanks a lot.